we covered the 4 aspects of good meditation, 4 elements that included posture, lucidity, mindfulness, and vigilance, alertness. But meditation in its own right, even though it will help you tame your mind, it won't necessarily lead to a state of bliss all the time. Because, after all, how many hours can you meditate in a day? The rest of the time you are in the world, dealing with people, listening to people, talking to people, hearing them out, making them hear you out. And most of our time goes in interacting with people one way or the other. There's a stuti we do all the time, eulogy, Swami and I, that we do. There's a word in that phrase, Shrimat Sabha Nayikam, that Mother Divine is a presiding deity of all congregations. A human being is pretty much never alone. You go into a movie hall, you're watching other people on the screen. You go to your work and you are dealing with other people, your boss, your peers, people who report to you and so on. You go home and you are dealing with other people, your family members, your son, your daughter, your children, your husband, wife, and so on and so forth. You go to a supermarket, you are dealing with other people. You drive on the road, even though you are in your own car, you're constantly dealing with other people on the road. So you're pretty much never alone. And when you are on your own, you're still dealing with a lot of other people, because your mind is constantly talking, reminding you of this person and that person, this thing and that thing. So you are never really alone. Yogi yunjit satatam atmanam rahse sthita ekaki yat chittatma nirashira parigraha. A real yogi is the one who can live in extreme solitude. But what to do until you can get to that state, when you can either have the time or the mental inkling, or the inclination, to live in solitude and be actually comfortable with it. So till that time, there are certain virtues that are absolutely critical to a meaningful life. A meaningful life is not always the one where you have some big grand purpose, although that's a misconception. Most of us think, if I have a great purpose in life, I may have a meaningful life. But if you don't have a purpose, still there are certain virtues. If you cultivate those virtues in your life, if you instill them in your life, then you have a much better chance of succeeding on this path in its entirety, which is the key. Just to be able to maintain concentration, it's only a medium. It's only a way to get to an end. If you look at Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, he doesn't start with asana, he doesn't start with pranayama, he doesn't start with dhyana or ekagrata or dharana. He starts with yama. And then he starts with niyama. He says yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Only after you have certain virtues, certain qualities, certain attributes that you practice day in, day out in your life, can you really attain that stability of the posture. And it's only after that you can really understand what breathing is about and build on it. It's only after that that you can withdraw your senses. Pratyahar means, ahar means food, pratyah means minimal. When you start to provide minimal food to your senses, you're able to withdraw them automatically. Yada sangrade jayam kurman angani sarvasha indriyani indriyartha bhistasya pragya pratishtha. Just like a turtle or tortoise withdraws all its lives inside and sits in its shell. The one who's really established, who's smadhist, who's firmly situated on the path, is able to withdraw his or her limbs, senses inward. That's called turning inward. So what are these virtues? The first virtue, I call it karuna, compassion. Many a time in your life, other people will make it very difficult for you. And at that time, you have many choices how you want to respond. And one of those choices is compassion. If you could respond to every gesture of the other person with a sense of compassion rather than judgment, then you really make a giant leap on the path of spirituality. The second virtue I wanted to cover was self-discipline. As we were talking yesterday, At Yoga Nushasanam now begins the discipline of yoga. Anybody who's interested in succeeding on any path, doesn't matter what it is, unless you have self-discipline, you won't succeed. Doesn't matter how much resources you have, how loaded you are, or how wise you may be. If you don't have the discipline, you're not going to make it. Even in bhakti, even on the path of bhakti, it's not like I will only pray the day I feel overwhelmed, I'll pray, otherwise I won't. Anything you want in life, you have to exercise discipline. Third virtue, it's gratitude. And gratitude is also a habit. It's a conscious practice. You could start your day by being grateful, and you could end your day with gratitude. There was this person, he said, thank you very much, God, for blessing me with this privilege. Today, so far, I haven't said anything bad to anybody. So far, I haven't hurt anybody. I haven't harmed anybody. I haven't injured anybody. So far, I haven't yelled at anybody. And now it's time to get out of bed. So please help me for the rest of my day. So help me during the rest of the day. So far, I've managed to control myself, and it's already been almost 6 minutes since I've been up. Now I only have to go through 24 more hours, so God help me. So gratitude immediately makes you full. It completes you right away because you actually feel, yes, everything is there. There was a lady, and she only had 3 strands of hair. I will spare you the visual. Only 3 strands of hair. So in the morning she got up, she had her bath. She said, oh, wow, 3? Today I'll braid, I'll braid them. So that's what she did. The next day, one of the strands fell off, and she was left with only 2. She said, oh wow, today I'll part my hair, from the middle. And that's what she did. And the third day, there was only 1 left. And she said, wow, today, I'll just let them loose. And 4th day, that was gone as well. It all happened so fast. And she said, thank you, God. Now, I don't have to worry about combing or blow drying my hair. That problem is gone. I can just be happy now. One less thing to take care of. So all of you bold people out there, that's something to think about. So gratitude is simply a perspective. It is flipping your viewpoint to see what makes you, how much you already have. It's not even seeing the glass half full or half empty. It's just being thankful for whatever it is. It may not quench your thirst, but at least you will still survive. And the fourth virtue, after the first three, which were compassion, self-discipline, gratitude, the fourth is detachment. There is one thing called renunciation, or let go, or tyag. Detachment is dispassion or vairagya. Detachment is to be at ease with the presence or absence of something in your life. Not all moments in your day, in your life, can be the same. They are designed to change. And so will your feelings. So are your feelings, in fact. So your feelings too will change, your emotions, your state of mind, and so on and so forth. But that doesn't mean that you can hurt somebody. That's not an excuse to stop doing good in the world. If you want to take your meditation to the next level, where you can sit for as long as you want, where you can literally delve, not literally, you can delve deep in that ocean of bliss, then that consistency of behavior, that consistency of virtues in your behavior, it's paramount. If there is no consistency in practicing these virtues, then your practice of meditation will also become inconsistent. And then it won't lead to the right results, or the desired results, or the expected results. And in the absence of those results, you will feel more frustrated. And dhyato vishantum sasangastheshu vijayate sangat sanjayate kamat kamat krodha vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoho sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti vrinshad buddhi nasho buddhi nashat pranashyati. And then frustration leads to anger, anger leads to loss of senses, that leads to loss of judgment or discrimination, and that leads to loss of intellect. And if you can't think straight, then you've lost it all, Krishna says. And so the four virtues that we talked about today: compassion, self-discipline, gratitude, and detachment. So these are just as important as the actual act of meditation. Don't underestimate, don't think that if I can sit still or do some ritual or meditate for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, that my life is good. These are even more critical. I'm sure you must have met people in your life who don't do meditation. And yet they are at peace, they are happy, they are helping others because they are practicing these virtues.